The paradiddle-diddle, an amazingly versatile rudiment. But stay till the end, because after we talk about the sticking, we'll get into the most important part, the subdivision of this rudiment. So you can actually use it. Let's get into it. It's a paradiddle-diddle. Well, that's what it is. So now we're getting to the sound thing. Paradiddle, paradiddle-diddle, right? Paradiddle, paradiddle-diddle, paradiddle-diddle. You add an extra diddle. Really, that's what's actually happening. The other thing you may have noticed is that I'm always starting on the same hand. I'm starting on my right hand every time, or you could reverse it and start on the left. But because of the nature of the sticking, it goes right, left, right, right, left, left, right, left, right, right, left, left, right. So it starts on the right, ends on the left, which sets you up to play on the right again. If you're playing a paradiddle, just a single paradiddle, you have right, left, right, right, which sets you up to play left, right, left, left. That's an alternating rudiment. The paradiddle-diddle is a non-alternating rudiment. You can, however, stop and then begin with the left hand. So definitely practice these starting with right, and definitely practice these starting with left. If you start it with left, it'll be the same thing, just reversed, like this. Left, right, left, left, right, right, left, right, left, left, right, right, left. Or if you want to use the sound of the rudiment, you can think of it like this. Paradiddle-diddle, paradiddle-diddle, paradiddle-diddle. Whichever one you find easier to get the sticking going in your hands is the way to do it. You definitely want to practice this rudiment with wrists and with fingers. Let's work on playing it just slower with the wrists and then a little quicker with the fingers, and you'll see what happens when we get some of the rebound going. So this is just wrist, starting with the right. You can do the same thing starting with the left. Pretty quickly, as the speed increases, you're going to be switching into fingers and you're going to be rebounding. So practicing things like your double stroke roll, getting that up to speed is going to be really helpful when you do this, because you're kind of playing two singles and then a quick double stroke roll. Right, left, right, right, left, left. It's kind of what ends up happening. Let's check it out with the fingers. If you start with the left hand, it's basically playing this rhythm. The right hand is filling in. That's a nice way to think about it sometimes if you're trying to get a flow and your speed going. This is just wrist. Starting with the left, a little faster maybe. Now let's get the fingers engaged and turn it into more of a roll. Starting with the left. I find it really helpful to be able to play this starting with either hand. It opens all kinds of things on the drum set. This is the drum set rudiment, man, I'm telling you. I mean, it really applies well. It sounds great on marching and just regular snare drum, but on the kit, this thing is amazing. You also want to practice this going from slow to fast to slow again. Wrist into fingers, and back into wrist. And like all the rudiments, it's that switching from wrist and the fingers and back into wrist is what catches us. So let's go through some of that and just get a feel for how that's going to work, and you can see what I'm doing. All wrist here. Still wrist. Now switching to fingers. And when I slow it down, I'll go back to wrists. Wrist. Increase tempo. Fingers. Slowing it down. Back to wrist. It's in the subdivisions that all this stuff starts to get really cool. You can think of it as straight 16th notes, 1 E end to 2 E end to 3 E end to 4 E end to 1. But it's a 3-beat phrase, so it's not going to line up even with 1, 2, 3, 4 all the time. Here's a short exercise that you can play in 16th notes that starts on 1, ends on beat 4. And you can loop this as an exercise. It goes like this. Let me count it in. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 E end to 2 E end to 3 E end to 4. 1 E end to 2 end to 3 E end to 4. 1 E end to 2 end to 3 E end to 4. 1 E end to 2 end to 3 E end to 4. You can do the same thing starting with left. 1 E end to 2 end to 3 end to 4. 1 E end to 2 end to 3 end to 4. 1 E end to 2 4. 1 E end to 2 end. You will definitely use these as 8th note triplets. 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 1. Sometimes I think of them as 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 triplet, 4 triplet. 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 triplet, 4 triplet, 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 triplet, 4 triplet, 1. At slower tempos, sometimes I count triplets just because I like the sound of it. At faster tempos, you can't really go 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 triplet, 4 triplets. It doesn't really work. So 1 and a 2 and a, or often at that point, you're just counting 1, 2, 3, 4, and know that you're filling in the triplet. Another way these get used often is as 16th note triplets. So this might happen in straight 8th time when you got 1, 2, 3, 4, diddle 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 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and diddle 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 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3 and 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. Tons of uses for the paradiddle-diddle. Get the sticking down, try to get the whole thing flowing, and then really think about the subdivisions on this one. You want to think about 16th notes, you want to think about 8th note triplets, and you also want to think about 16th note triplets. So try to get that going, get that thing flowing in your hands, and you are going to use this thing everywhere. It's going to be a ball.